morning, everybody. It's Tuesday morning, and got on YouTube Studios, and over 100 subscribers now. Guys, I never thought that would actually happen. That's awesome. I really never thought that would actually happen. Especially because I speak my mind and everything, and it really goes against the whole algorithm and everything. But thanks to y'all, it's actually over 100, which is again amazing. So thanks to everybody, all the subscribers. You guys are awesome. Let's get into this. Earlier last week. Now I don't know if anybody knows about it, but last week Russia made somebody in the State Duma made a threat to take back Alaska. Now, if you didn't know, Alaska used to belong to Russia. Well, not Russia exactly. It used to belong to the Russian Empire. The United States bought Alaska from one of the old czars in the 1860s. So there's that little backstory for Alaska. Anyways, somebody in the State Duma said or threatened to take back Alaska. And now apparently there are billboards in Russia that say Alyaska Nasha, which is Alaska is ours. Now, it's real interesting because a lot of y'all know I do have family in Russia, but I also do have family in Alaska. I haven't talked to them yet, but it'll be interesting to see or listen to what they have to say, if they even know about it. Now, the family that lives in Alaska, they're not exactly preppers, but they, are of that mindset. I don't know exactly how to describe it. I mean, preppers in a way, I guess, but not exactly, not like full blown or anything like that. Anyways, what are my thoughts on the whole Russia threatening to take back Alaska? And here's what I think. I don't think that they'll do it. And here's why. It's easy for Russia to invade Ukraine or go into Ukraine. It's easy for them to do that because they share a land border, and they can just throw in, troops and equipment like crazy whenever they want. But Alaska, now you've got to cross the Bering Strait. You've got really harsh conditions and environments, so you're not going to be able to throw in equipment like you could Ukraine. And the United States, even as soft as the U.S. has become, is still a formidable force. And you don't want, you're not going to want to risk a direct confrontation. Not even Russia is going to want to risk a direct confrontation against the United States. Maybe if they had the direct help of China and a, maybe possible conflict in Korea or a distraction, maybe then they'd be able to. And I did hear something, one of the channels, I don't remember which one, but they were talking with an expert. I think it might have been Canadian Prepper or something like that. Anyways, he was talking with an expert, and he was saying something along the lines of, watch for a conflict in Korea. That's where he thinks the actual, World War III is going to kick off in Korea. And that would make sense because there's direct U.S. troops in Korea. Now, I'm not saying the U.S. is the only country in the world, but it's one of the bigger players. So direct conflict in Korea would probably bring on World War III, and it would probably have the United States' attention more so in Korea. And then if that were to happen, then, you know, Russia and China together could possibly potentially take Alaska. But that would be, you know, with the United States being distracted and sending a lot of its resources to Korea. So I don't think that the Russian threat on Alaska is too much to worry about right now. I would definitely keep an eye on it. Yeah, Russia's made threats, you know, of wanting parts of California or other parts of the United States, and it's really gone nowhere. So I don't think that Alaska Nasha is something really to worry about. Not right now. Definitely something to keep in the back of your mind, but it's not something to get stressed out over. Not right now. Sorry, had to drink some Monster there. Anyways, a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. Russia's also reported its very first case of monkeypox detected in St. Petersburg. A man from St. Petersburg traveled to Portugal and returned back to Russia showing symptoms and admitted himself to a hospital, and they confirmed monkeypox. Now, I don't think monkeypox is really anything to worry about. It's a very difficult disease to spread. Not really something that I'm worrying about at all. It's not even on my radar anymore. Russia's also thinking about expanding its ruble for gas to LNG, so liquid natural gas. They're thinking about expanding its ruble to gas to LNG. So basically, any nation who wants to buy oil from Russia has to pay in ruble. Well, now they're thinking about doing this to LNG, liquid natural gas, which they export a lot of as well. So what this is going to do is it's going to increase the Russian economy even more. It's going to prop up the ruble even more. And, you know, if I were to put myself in their shoes, I don't blame them. Now, guys, you know, something else just occurred to me with Alaska. One reason why Russia might really want Alaska is because the Arctic is melting. Now, if you want to call it climate change or what, you know, you can call it whatever you want. The fact is, the Arctic is melting, which means it's becoming more accessible. And we all know Russia has a very large northern coast. Their northern coastline is absolutely massive. But here's the thing. With northern sea ice melting, which, you know, would be opening a new trade route through the Arctic, Russia would be able to completely control the Bering Strait if they took Alaska. They don't control the Bering Strait exactly. No, Bering Strait is controlled by both Russia and the United States. But if Russia were to take Alaska, then it would completely control the United States. Now, I do believe the northern sea route would go through Canada, I think, like Nunavut or whatever it's called. That weird province name. It's an absolutely enormous province in Canada. Anyways, it would go through that. And the northern sea route would cut off an immense amount of time if it were to be opened. And Russia would definitely want to hop on the whole let's control the entire Bering Strait, because, you know, if you want to ship something from like Japan to Europe, the ship, it would have to go south through Panama and then up the Atlantic into, you know, to get to Europe. But if the sea ice melts and it opens up that, you know, that northern passage, Japan would be able to ship, and this goes for China as well. They would be able to ship goods via the Bering Strait, cutting off a significant amount of time. Now, Russia would be able to control this if they took Alaska, and they'd probably be able to charge whatever they want to whoever wants to use it to cut off an immense amount of time shipping products from Asia to Europe.